Hello friends and welcome to Jenny's European Bakery. Today we are making a Napoleon cake with Diplomat cream. This dessert is made of a silky, smooth cream layered between delicate, flaky pastry sheets, creating a delightful treat that simply melts in your mouth. Yes, it can be time consuming, but it's worth every second. So, let's get started. To prepare the dough, take a large bowl and sieve 350 grams or about 2 and 3/4 cup of flour into it. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and mix well. Take 210 grams of frozen butter and coat it lightly in the flour to make it easier to grate and to prevent it from melting too quickly. Grate the butter directly into the flour, tossing the grated pieces with the flour as you go to prevent them from sticking together. When all the butter is grated and evenly coated with flour, set the mixture aside. Now grab 52 milliliters of cold water, mix in 2 teaspoons of vodka and vinegar, then crack in 1½ eggs about 80 grams, and whisk it all together until it's nice and smooth. Add this mixture to the flour and butter in small portions, mixing gently after each addition. Keep going until the dough just comes together. Now roll the dough into a log and divide it into 9 equal pieces. Roll each piece into a ball, place them on a floured plate, cover with plastic wrap, and refrigerate them while you prepare the frosting. For the cream, pour 600 milliliters of milk into a saucepan. Add a pinch of salt and place it over medium heat. Make sure it doesn't come to a boil. In a separate bowl, add 6 eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 300 grams of sugar. Then mix well. Next, add 30 grams of cornstarch and 20 grams of flour and whisk until smooth. When my hands got tired, I used a hand mixer to make it easier. When you see foam forming in the milk, slowly pour in the egg mixture a little at a time, whisking constantly to keep it smooth. Cook over medium heat, whisking until the mixture thickens. When it's ready, turn off the heat and stir in 50 grams of butter. Transfer the frosting to a bowl, cover it with plastic wrap and place it in the fridge or freezer to cool completely. We will need to add some heavy cream once it's cold, but we will return to this later. Once the dough is chilled, take it out of the fridge and grab one piece of dough, keeping the others in the fridge. Use plenty of flour while rolling, because we need to roll the dough very thin, and this will prevent it from ripping or sticking. Roll out the dough into a thin circle, flipping it over regularly as you roll. Don't worry if it's not a perfect circle, we will trim it later. Just make sure it is larger than 7½ inches in diameter for our cake. Take a baking sheet, you don't need to use parchment paper, but you can if you prefer. Place the rolled dough on your sheet and pierce it lightly with a fork to prevent bubbling. Bake at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 minutes or until golden. Be careful to not burn it, as every oven is different. Once it's done, take it out and let it cool. To speed up the process, I recommend using two baking sheets. While one sheet is baking, roll out the next piece and repeat the same steps. Remember, be careful with each layer as they are so thin and fragile. Once all the layers are baked and cooled, use a cake ring to trim them into perfect 7.5 inches or 90 centimeters circles. If you don't have a cake ring, you can use a plate or any round objects as a guide. Don't throw away the trimmings, save them, we will use this for decoration later. After you've trimmed all of your layers, take the leftover trimmings and crumble them with your fingers into fine crumbs and set it aside. Now let's return to our frosting and finish the Diplomat cream. In a chill bowl, add 300 milliliters of cold heavy cream and 500 grams of powdered sugar, and whip it until stiff peaks form. Once the cream is whipped, take the chilled custard out of the fridge and gently fold it into the whipped cream. Then beat the mixture until smooth for a couple of seconds. Look at how smooth and silky the consistency is. It should be light, creamy, and glossy. Now it's time to assemble. Take a big plate or cake stand and spread a little frosting on the bottom to keep the first layer from sliding. Start with one baked layer on your serving plate and spread a generous amount of cream on top, approximately 160 grams for each layer. Place the next layer on top, pressing it gently. Don't worry if it's cracked slightly, this is normal and helps the layers settle properly. Repeat the process, stacking the layers and spreading cream between them. Don't forget to spread frosting on the sides of the cake as you go to ensure everything is covered. You can use a special icing spatula or just a spoon. After the last layer is in place, spread the cream evenly over the top and sides of the cake, smoothing it out neatly. When you finish, rub the sides of the cake with parchment paper and secure it with a cake ring to ensure it stays even and straight. Then cover the top tightly with plastic wrap. If you don't have a cake ring, simply wrap the cake with parchment paper and plastic wrap. Refrigerate the cake for at least 8 hours or overnight to let the flavor melt and the cream set perfectly. Once chilled, carefully remove the plastic wrap, cake ring, and parchment paper. Now let's decorate. Sprinkle the previously prepared crumbs generously over the top and sides of the cake. Using your hands, it's often easier, faster, and neater for this step, but you can use a spatula if you prefer. I also like to use a silicone brush afterwards to clean up any excess crumbs and make the decoration even. For an extra touch, you can add some fresh fruits or berries on top to give the cake a pop of color and flavor. And that's it, your stunning Napoleon cake with Diplomat cream is ready to serve. Just look at those flaky layers and creamy filling, absolutely irresistible. Slice it up and enjoy the magic inside. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment and subscribe for more delicious recipes. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.